All right, time to uncover the TR4 again. So, hi guys, welcome to the 1964 Triumph TR4. Well, I'm not gonna call it restoration anymore, it's a going over or whatever. So let's uncover it because it's been covered for 4 or 5 days, because as you can see here behind me, I've been working on my GT6 engine, and I'm really excited because it's coming together, and soon I'm gonna be able to put it on the frame and start it, as long as I actually have time for that. So I have to work on other projects as well. I'm still waiting for parts. They are in my mailbox in the States, so it's gonna take another 2 days probably before they arrive, and I wanna knock everything off the list that I can do without those parts, so I don't blame myself after when the parts arrive that I have way too many things that I could have done before. So these are little things, cosmetic things, and a little bit of wiring inside the car. What we're gonna start with today is I'm gonna install the radio, because we bought a new radio for the car, a USB that the owner wants so he can charge his phone, which I strongly recommend installing one in your car somewhere hidden so it doesn't ruin the originality of the car, but it's good to have one. Ask me how I know. Your cruise on the country roads, it's not so enjoyable when you have a dead phone in your pocket and you're thinking about that all the time. I've been in that position, I believe, twice in the very early stages of my Spitfire cruising. Anyway, so that's one thing, and then the other thing is probably going to be installing the mirrors, and we'll see some cosmetic stuff, because just we don't have much that we can do. All right, let's start with the radio, and this is what was in the car before. Well, haven't seen one of these in ages. Anyways, so you can see how it was pretty well insulated, the body of the radio, because this car had positive ground before, and the radio, when it is connected, the chassis of the radio has a negative ground, even though it was in the glove box, but it could touch a screw or something and burn the electrical system. Well, we don't have to do that anymore because we converted the car to a negative ground. This is how I disconnected it nicely, because we got rid of all the wiring. We're gonna run our own wiring for the new radio, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna install it in the glove box again, and this is what we bought. It is a very simple, cheap unit. We're not gonna go with one of those fancy, I don't know what they were called, radios that have the old look, but they have the new internals. Wow, this one even has a steering remote. So you see, when it is in the glove box, because that's where it's gonna live again, you don't even need to touch it. You can turn it on and off from here, but the problem is it's probably infrared, so it's not gonna catch in the glove box. But anyways, we will see. The only reason why the owner would need to reach to the radio would be only for the volume, because what he wants to do is he wants to connect his phone through Bluetooth and just play music from his phone. But even the volume you can control from the phone. As soon as he turns on the ignition, his phone is going to connect, and then he can play his music and everything through the phone, and then he doesn't even need to reach inside and do anything in the glove box. So we're just gonna mount it somewhere here. Do I want to mount it at the bottom? Let's see how it's gonna mount. So I'm sorry, I have to take everything out from inside for a second. Maybe that's how we should mount it, like deep inside. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna mount it deep inside like that, and we're gonna leave room underneath for things to be put in. Ooh, in excess, the kick. Wow, nice. Yeah, so for this reason, I'm gonna put everything for now in this box so we don't lose it. I'm gonna put it back in the glove box later. Everything we need here is the wiring harness. This is the power one, so black is ground, red is ignition power, which is on with the ignition and off when you turn the ignition off. Yellow is constant power from the battery for the memory of the radio, and blue is output actually. If you have a power antenna or if you have an amplifier, for example, that's what triggers it. In this case, we're not going to use it, so we only need to connect these three for power, and the other connector is for speakers. And you can see here, green is one speaker, white is another speaker, gray is the third, and purple is the fourth. I believe white and gray are the front speakers. Let me check. Yeah, white and gray are the front speakers, which we're not going to use because we don't have front speakers, but we have rear speakers, so we're going to use the green and purple. And as you can see here, that's important when you connect them. If you reverse the polarity, then the polarity is reversed. So solid green is positive, green with black is negative, and here it's the same. Purple is positive, purple with black is the negative for the other speaker. So I might show you here the schematic that I decided to use. So if you remember, we modified a little bit the overdrive wiring in the car, and we installed an electric fan in the front. So it was a little bit confusing video, but here this is a schematic in which I show you exactly what I've done in that video. And we also included the radio and the USB in the same schematic. So that's how we're gonna wire the radio. The speakers are not shown on this schematic though. I was thinking of buying a new glove box, but they're plastic and it turned out to be very, very expensive. So we're gonna use this one. First of all, I'm gonna repair this one a little bit because it's ripped. So we're gonna glue it here. We're gonna glue a sheet of something here on top, and then we're gonna mount the radio. We will see how we're gonna mount it like this, so it is at the bottom over there. The dash support on the early TR4s is not designed for radio. Here you have switches, so even if you want to install it somewhere on the A-frame or on the dash support, you can't. So, but we decided with the owner that it's gonna be in the glove box, it's gonna be hidden, so it's better. Alright, so I don't know if you saw what I've done here, but I took out the bracket from the radio, and it has those little tabs. You can see them here at the bottom of the bracket, but it has them also on the top. And here you see I made little holes, so there are 3 of them here, 3 of them here, and 2 more here. And that's how initially I was gonna keep it, because this is like really light radio. There's absolutely no mechanical parts inside. Everything is electronics, so it is super light. So I was gonna keep it like that, but then it occurred to me that I can just solder something on top, and now it's never coming out unless it trips the whole thing. These 2 just gonna live like as they are. Here I glued this crack with this adhesive, but I wasn't trusting it very much, so I put something that we all trust, duct tape. And yeah, then I extended the 7 wires that we needed. So the 3 power wires, the 4 speaker wires, and now we can mount it in the car. And you see how it sits high, and you still have room underneath to put your papers and whatever you want to keep there. So now I'm gonna go in the car and I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. This is the wiring for the overdrive and for the fan in the front, and you see on the schematic how exactly the wires that we need. So we have the black one for ground, we have the yellow one, and we have the red one. That's the power wires that we need, even for the USB. And the wires are long enough to do it before I mount the glove box, and then after that we're gonna coil them and we're gonna tag them here somehow with zip ties or something. but it's going to be much easier. And then we're going to mount the glove box under, and we're going to figure out a better way to mount it, because before it was held only by these two screws and it was ripped here at the top, but we're going to figure out something to make it more solid now. I'm showing you this because I'm going to do it on my own. There's no room for all of us here. All right, so it's not permanently mounted. I mean, it's halfway mounted. So I just put here these screws to hold the bottom end. There's nothing to hold the top end. I mean, there are screws here, but they go into nothing because the glove box is not very solid anymore. But this car was missing the support from underneath. You know, there's a metal rail that goes from here to, I believe there's a screw somewhere here, screw hole, yeah, right here. So that's where the rail attaches. We're gonna have to create that rail because we didn't have it when the car came. Turn this light off. And so the wiring is connected. I still have to somehow tuck it away, but we're gonna do that later. The black and yellow here are for my USB that is gonna come somewhere here at some point. This is still for the switch for the electric fan, the bypass switch, which is also gonna be somewhere here. And these are my speaker wires that I haven't run yet to the back. The radio is pretty solid here, like it is nice and tight. It's not going anywhere. There's still a lot of room here. Oh, I should have cleaned that. I'm gonna vacuum it at the end. But there's still room here for documents and stuff that you want to put. All right, so let's turn it on. There you go. Turns on right away. And if you leave it in, let's see if we can find a radio station. I also plugged the antenna from behind. Okay, we found some radio station. We don't have speakers yet, so, but we have the antenna from the old radio right here. So I connected it and we got a radio station. So let's save it, whatever. Okay, so that's saved at 1. Let's see if we go back. Just want to make sure that it works, that the memory works. Yeah, so that's our radio station. And then let's turn it to Bluetooth mode. Okay, so now it's in Bluetooth. I just want to see now if I turn the ignition off, wait for like 10 seconds. 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn it on. Yeah, it comes back on and it goes directly to Bluetooth mode. So at this stage, at this point, you can connect your phone, and like I said, you don't even need to open the glove box to connect your phone. It connects right away and you can control your volume from the phone. But even if you want to control the volume from here, it's easy as you're driving to just reach, open and find this big button and control your volume. That's not that hard, right? So that's it. I'm gonna go ahead now and fabricate something for this bracket underneath, or rail. I'm gonna tuck the wires away. This is the antenna wire and these wires here. Oh shoot, I was forgot about that. I had to reverse the polarity on the ammeter, right? And it was gonna be much easier without the glove box there. So I might pull it down, it's not that hard. Anyways, that's what I'm gonna do here. Turn the ignition off. Don't worry, I have the electronic ignition disconnected from the distributor, because when we hold the ignition on for a long time, we can ruin the electronic ignition. But it is disconnected, don't worry. So yeah, and then I'm gonna run these under the carpet to the speakers in the back. I have those speakers, and we will see. We're gonna play some music later. So I found this cut-off piece from an old oven cover, actually, or a stove cover that I used metal from for my Jeep. I remember I cut some of this metal from my Jeep. So that was a long piece like that, which I cut and I bent a little bit at the end, and it works perfectly as a rail there. So I'm not even gonna paint it because it's nice. It's painted already, so I think it's good. So I'm gonna go mount it. I already fitted it and it fits well. Nice and solid now. It's not going anywhere. This is the packaging from the radio, so it came handy too. I just want to make sure that it still works. That we didn't disconnect anything. So turn it on. Yes. Goes to Bluetooth directly. Oh, and by the way, I also reversed the ammeter. Now it, when it charges, goes to plus, not to minus. So we are almost done here. All right, the speakers are also connected. That one over there and the other one here. So let's play something. Let's connect it first because I haven't connected it yet. So if we go to Bluetooth, actually we need to turn this on now. The radio goes straight to Bluetooth and it found it here as Carburetor. Okay, my phone is connected now. All right, my phone connected automatically, that's why. Now it is disconnected. So let's see now. Okay, now it connected automatically. Let's see how fast it is going to connect. So now we turn it off. Now it's not connected. So let's turn it on again. Let's see if it is going to connect automatically. There you go. It connected right away. So let's go find... I need to sign in. Come on, I don't want to sign in. Let's go search for Rusty Beauties. There you go, my latest video. Let's see. Of course now there's going to be an app. There you go. I don't know if the ads are copyrighted, but... There you go, you can control the volume from here. And from here. You can just leave the radio to the max and then control the volume from here. There you go. So let's see, for example, if we turn the car off now, there you go, it turns off. Did the video stop playing? Wow, my tablet is smart. Now the sound is coming from here. So let's say now the car is parked. Let's see if it is gonna come on automatically when you turn it on. Yes. There you go. So now it switched to the radio. Let's clean this baby. Oh, hi guys. You're back? Okay, welcome back to the GT6 restoration. Welcome back to the GT6 restoration. Okay. Enough. So that's enough with the radio. I still have to tack the wires here, but that's another job. And the USB and this switch I'm going to install later when I have everything assembled here. That's easy. So we're going to consider this job done. Let's get crack-a-lacking on something else. All right, so let's deal with the mirrors now. I know that's not original. I know that that's going to ruin the originality of the car. But like I mentioned before, I have the same opinion as the owner of the car. It is more important for me to be safe than to have my car super original. Door mirrors were a dealer option at the time, so I don't think that this ruins the originality of the car. So anyways, we have mirrors here, and I don't know how they're getting mounted, but we're gonna figure it out. So it looks like we don't need to take the door apart to install the mirrors because they finally came up with something interesting here. At least I haven't seen this before, but that's how it goes. So that's how it's getting mounted. This gets mounted on the car with the hook forward, and then this hook hooks up to this here, and then you run a screw from here, which I can't see anywhere, this screw. Oh yeah, it's here. and then you tighten this screw, and that pulls, and that actually pushes the mirror forward. So all we have to do now is locate a good spot for the mirror. So let me sit in the car. In my Spitfire, I mounted them as far forward as possible, and they are not in a great location still. For my GT6, I don't know what I'm gonna do for my GT6. We'll see. Anyway, so this mounted somewhere here. Yeah, that has a lot of adjustment. So, all right, so somewhere here is gonna be great. So we don't need even to take the card out. We're gonna have to take it out anyways because we need to deal with the window and with the, and this handle is also pretty loose, so that's gonna be a separate thing. So we can use this as a template, and that's more or less where we wanted the mirror, and this is where we're gonna mount this. I'm gonna mark it. I'm gonna mark one hole at least. We have to be very careful not to scratch, not to run it sideways. So I'm not gonna press at all. Here we need to be careful because these little drill bits like to snap. If it, especially here, I don't know what it is gonna hit behind, and if it goes too deep, it might bend and break, and then the rest of it might go and scratch the car. So I'm like not pressing at all, so we don't go too far in. There you go. So let's see where that lands. You need to move a little. Okay, so that's perfect. Okay, make sure that it is straight. Perfect. So much better than my Spitfire. Okay, that was easy. I'm gonna install the other one, and then we're gonna take this door card out, and we'll see if we can take care of this handle and also make the mirror, the windows go up and down easy. Okay. All right, so here I don't think there are any tricks to be shown. I mean, on the TR6 it is hard to reach here. Let me start with this actually. It is hard to reach those pins inside, especially when you're assembling them. But here it is pretty easy because the handles are different. See the pin, when you're assembling it, this pin is really hard to install on TR6, but here, because of the shape of the handle, you can easily push on this and put it in, because take it out and I'll show you. Because here you see this hole is so closed. On TR6 you don't have access because it's deep inside there. There it's hard to disassemble, and it's even harder to assemble it again. Here it's pretty easy, so. All right, and then there's two screws here that hold this handle. Here we have to be careful with these pins, these clips, because they many times they would rip off the door card instead of the... There you go. And here we still have the springs, which is surprising. So these springs need to go back. And we have the... Oh wow, what happened here? So the door mechanism on the TR4 is different than the TR6. So there are rails. There's a rail on the back of the door here, and there's a scissor lift here that I don't know how, but we should be able to reach. I'm afraid of this. I don't want to take this out because it looks like somebody improvised there. So okay, from here I have access to the mechanism. So I'm gonna just spray it with lithium grease. And I want also to spray here, but I don't want to remove the plastic. What's holding this plastic? There you go. Okay. And here great, I sprayed it in my face. Also here we want to spray. Ooh, it's already better. Actually much better. That's better. Just have to figure out exactly where we are. Oh. Okay, that's it here. And the last thing is the handle. There you go. Rock solid. Okay, let's see how fast we can assemble it now. So we're gonna put the two springs and our door card. Okay. Okay. And now the hardest part, let me bring you maybe closer. So this is the hardest part usually for other cars, but like I said, for this shouldn't be too hard. So we're gonna put the escutcheon. Then we're going to put the handle halfway. We're going to put our pin halfway, and then we're just going to push until we find the hole. There you go. And once it's in, you can just keep pushing it until it goes all the way. There you go. And it's in. Now it can't come out because the plastic is holding it. So here it's the same. Like this, like this. There you go. Okay. That's so much easier than before. All right, another job done. All right, guys, so that's something new. So the owner of this car wanted a third brake light installed somehow, obviously for safety. I know that many of you are not gonna like the idea, but again, this is up to the owner. So he wanted something that is easy to put on and off, and I was thinking about this guy here, meet Alan Vinegar, also known as Dr. Carburetor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and MG upgrades.
MG upgrades. So he owns a beautiful
MGC.
MGC GT. Sorry, I'm not a MG guy. So he has a beautiful car, but he is restoring SU carburetors now, doing a great job. We can show a little bit of the carburetors too. And he also contacted me before and said that he's 3D printing some lights for different old cars. And he doesn't have one that is specifically for TR4, but now he's actually going to develop something so we can have a prototype, and then we're going to also put his website here so you can order it. Anyways, he has this one, which is for MGB, right?
Yeah.
But it is pretty much the same profile as what we need for the TR4. The only problem is that it is a little bit tilted down, so now he's gonna modify his file and his design, and he's gonna make it look like this. We measured that it needs to be 175 tau higher, the pedestal, on the rear end than the front end, and that's it. Underneath, he usually sticks them with either screws them in or with Gorilla tape. But for this one, because we want it to be removable, we're gonna try and implement these neodymium magnets, whatever the name is.
Rare earth magnets.
Rare earth magnets. So anyways, this is just a prototype. We want to work a little bit on it. Actually, Alan is insisting that he improves the design. I said that I like it the way it is, but he's gonna improve the design, and he's gonna develop a light that is specifically for TR4. So anyways, for TR4 and 250, of course. So if you're interested, here's his website. And this is his carburetor part of his business. So he can tell you more about his business.
So I'm restoring SU carburetors. I don't mind touching Strombergs, but I prefer to do SU carburetors.
Because he's an MG guy.
And well, I've helped install SU carburetors on TR6s, so
Yeah.
it can work. HS6s work great. But what I'm doing here, I'll finish. So we're doing zinc plating for the steel parts, which really helps them last and makes them look good. And I'm polishing the air chambers, and we're soda blasting the bodies of the carburetor. And you'll even see some custom-made fuel lines.
Yeah, this is custom made. So great.
Anyway, so you can reach me at Dr. Carburetor. We'll supply you the link, and if you want to reach me, I can be happy to do your work for you.
Great. Thank you. Looks beautiful. All right, so it's a few days later, and we took a break from the TR4 because we've done more or less what we had parts for, but now we got the package and we have some more parts that arrived today, so we can come back to it. And let's see quickly what we have. So we have, what is this? Our vacuum unit for the distributor. We have new shocks. We have a whole bunch of LED bulbs because we want to change all the bulbs to LED except the headlights. So we also got electronic flasher unit, because with the LED bulbs we need to make sure that the signals are working properly. We also got a set of points and condenser that we're going to put in the glove box just in case. Many people don't trust the electronic ignition, and it's good for peace of mind to have a set of these. So anyways, these are just to be in the glove box for spares. Rotor for the distributor, we got new rotor. And what is this? Sending unit for the water temperature. And I also got a voltage stabilizer, because from what I understanding from the schematic, the new ones are the polarity can affect them of the car. The old ones shouldn't be affected by the polarity because they are only a bimetal switch. That's what they are, and doesn't matter the polarity. But we don't know in this car if it has been replaced already or not with a new one, so maybe that's what's going on. But anyways, we got a new sending unit, and this is the old one. So before we install it, we're going to make a comparison and see how the resistance is going to compare to this one in ambient temperature and in hot temperature. And we can also take out this one, because this is my GT6 that I tried with to see if it was going to work, but no, still doesn't work. And we also got bushings and a shaft for the clutch and the brake pedal, because they are a little bit loose, so the owner added this to my list, so we're gonna take care of that. And last but not least, we have a brand new high torque Wasp starter, so we're gonna replace that. Meanwhile, also Alan Vinegar stopped by and he delivered the ready light for here. So that's the new one. The first one was just a prototype. This one, he put the magnets underneath and he raised up the front end a little bit, or the rear end in this case. And now it is much better. So to protect the paint, Alan also gave me this clear sheet that you can stick to your paint. It is easy to remove it if you want to remove it without damaging the paint. But the owner also was talking about repainting the car, so we're not going to stick it yet. If he takes the car to a paint shop and they paint the car for him, then he might just stick that clear sticker here, and the magnets are not going to damage his paint. I think it looks great there. We're just going to have to do the wiring, but I think we're going to do all that in one of the next videos, because I don't know, I think this one is becoming pretty long, so we're going to cut it here and we're going to start fresh next time. So thanks for watching, thanks for commenting and subscribing, thanks for sharing, guys, thanks for supporting the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.